Good evening, everybody. This is the Carver Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the date of June 21, 2022. We are in meeting room 3 at the Carver Town Hall, and it is 7 p.m. The first matter that is on our agenda for this evening is the approval of meeting minutes from May 10, 2022. And I ask the board members who are present to acknowledge that they received a draft of these meeting minutes in advance of tonight's meeting so that they could be properly reviewed without having to take a lot of time while we are in public session.
Yeah,
Poirier, you
I
all
did.
set?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any changes, amendments, or modifications they'd like to make?
No.
Do I hear a motion?
A motion to accept the minutes as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So those meeting minutes now are made part of the public record and stand approved as written. Okay. We have 2 continued cases this evening. Actually, 1 continued case and 1 that's sort of continued but not. And I'll explain that when we get to it. But the first matter that was on the agenda tonight is case number 100-6-0R, the petitioner being Wenham PV1 LLC, requesting dimensional variances pursuant to sections 2320 and 5222 of the Carver zoning bylaw for property located at 27 Wenham Road in Carver, which is Assessor's Map 100, Lot 60R, so as to construct a dual-use solar project in the residential agricultural district. Variances are being requested due to the irregular shape of the parcel and the need for frontage relief. The subject lot has 105 feet of frontage. The minimum requirement is 150. Now, this matter has been scheduled and rescheduled a couple of times, and late today, I received a copy of a letter from the attorney for the petitioner, which I will now read into the record. On behalf of the above-referenced applicant, Wenham PV1 LLC, we are respectfully requesting a continuance of the public hearing scheduled for June 21, 2022, to the next available hearing date. At this time, we are still conducting due diligence on this site and coordinating with our engineers in order to put together a plan and submission for the planning board as per your guidance. We are further attempting to alleviate the need for some of the requested relief being sought from this board and appreciate your patience. It is also noted by the chair that at the recent town meeting, a moratorium was declared on new solar use projects. And this also is recognized by the petitioner in this case. So I would imagine that at the next meeting, whenever that is scheduled, in the discretion of the board, we'll know a lot more about the direction this case is taking. In view of that moratorium, and also in view of the background work that this petitioner still needs to do, as referenced in the letter that I just read into the record. So, do I hear a motion to allow the continuance in this case?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So this case is continued to the next hearing date, and I would suggest, and I ask for guidance from the other board members here tonight, that this matter go over to August rather than at our next date that we have scheduled for regular cases, which is July 12th. This should give them plenty of time to figure out what they're going to be doing and whether they intend to go forward in view of the moratorium and also in view of the fact that they still have appearances to make in front of other boards. So what would the board like to do about a date?
I'd like to bring up that I will be out of the country from August 2nd to about the 20th.
Well, the cops are chasing you.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I'm
So,
assuming they won't catch me in Switzerland.
yes. So what are the dates again?
The 2nd to the 20th?
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah, well, they're looking for
So
you
what
there.
about what about the last week in August? That will give us, or give them 2 months.
I will say that if they're waiting for the Attorney General approval of our bylaws, which will include the moratorium, so they'll know whether that has passed or not. The due date on that, the latest due date on that is August 19th. So it could come in before then, but it's
By then, anyway.
it has to be by then.
All right, so let's talk about the week after.
You're talking the 22nd through...
The week of the 22nd.
Yes, to accommodate
Yep.
the fugitives' schedule here.
Yeah. I appear to be wide open, assuming I get back.
Fran?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm available.
Mr. Poirier? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 22, 23, 24.
Yes, fine. Either.
And which of those dates would anybody prefer?
Sharon, what, do you have meetings
what
with
about-
your other committees?
I'm not there yet. But I can work around them. I think if I have them in August, it'll be the second, no, I'll be gone, so I don't know whether they'll meet either. So the 23rd is fine.
Yep.
Whoever
Is that-
gets on my calendar first.
Is that a
wins.
Tuesday?
That's
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll take a vote to continue case number 100-6-0R to August 23rd. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so August 23 is the next date for this case. So, our next case for this evening is case number 1-20-0R, the petitioner being Richard Antoniotti II and Thomas C. Benner trustees, requesting a special permit and/or variances in accordance with sections 2245, 2254, 2260, and sections following, as well as 5221, 5222, and 5300, and sections following of the Carver zoning bylaw for property located at 92B South Main Street in Carver. That's Assessor's Map 1, Lot 20-0-R, to demolish 2 existing cottages and construct a new 30 by 40 or 1,200 square foot house with an attached accessory dwelling unit in a residential agricultural district. Who is here tonight on this matter? Okay, so why don't you guys come up and sit in the front row, and I'll give my little speech about us being a member short. Now, I reached out through our clerk today to advise the parties this evening that we would be one short due to an illness that is being experienced by that member. We hope to have him back shortly, but he's not able to be with us tonight. So you know the drill. If we are a board of 4, we can proceed. We do have a quorum, but any vote on the merits has to be unanimous, as opposed to when we have 5 members present, you don't need unanimity, you just need a 4-to-1 in order to prevail. So tonight, if you decide to proceed on the merits, you will require a unanimous vote from us. Are you prepared to proceed?
Meritorious though our project is, in our opinion, we don't want to risk a unanimous vote, Mr. Chairman. Rob D'Ambrosio Law, Rick's attorney, so, we'd like to be continued until we
Okay.
go forward.
It's unfortunate that both of you had to come in tonight. I did, as I said, reach out through the clerk and was advised that you folks and the case after you, as well as the case in front of you, all wanted to go forward tonight. It's your right to change your mind, and I understand the strategy,
Yeah.
and no prejudice to you for deciding to go to a different date.
Yeah, I mean, point of information, I don't think we did intend to go forward tonight. We're here solely, really, the truth be told, in the interest of time, our hope is that were the ZBA, and again, I understand the hearings are open, but were this board to want a site visit or additional information prior to opening a hearing on the merits, I guess we respectfully request that you schedule that in advance of our next continued hearing, in the interest of...
Well, typically, we don't do site visits, council, unless we've already opened the public hearing.
Right, I thought that might be your response. I'm just doing what I can to get this
Understood.
done.
He's doing what he can. So, we have 2 dates now that are available. One is July 12, and the other one, as you just heard, is August 23. Now, the one for July 12, you should be aware, is 2 new cases, and they will take a little bit of time. And the one on August 23 is the one you just heard about. That's the only case on so far that evening. It may or may not go forward. So do you have a preference?
Well, I mean, I'm available both dates. I think, the risk is if we go on the 12th, we sit around for an hour, but, we expedite the overall process. We go on the 23rd, we lose a month, 6 weeks, and, maybe don't sit around as long. So I'll leave it up to you, Rick.
July 12th, please.
Okay. You'll be one of 3 right now on that date. Do I hear a motion to continue this case to July 12th at the request of the applicant?
So moved?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So you are continued to July 12th, no prejudice to you. We'll take the matter up at that time and get into the details of your proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Do we have a hearing scheduled for the 28th of July as well?
Negative.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
June,
You're right.
that's the SL.
That's next
week.
Tuesday.
Never mind, okay.
Right. That's the 28th you're remembering.
Right. Wrong month.
Okay. I have so much paper. Come up here and sit in the front row. You're the most important ones this evening.
You probably thought when you sat down, well, we're going to be sitting here for a while, we're third in line, and just like that,
15
you're moved
minutes
to the head
later,
of the
you're front and
class.
center.
No idea what's gonna happen.
All night for the same.
Yeah, there they are. So, that's this case. And so you are Matthew.
Yes, I'm Matthew, and joined my fiance.
Congratulations. Great. All right, so this is the public hearing on case number 62-35-0R, the petitioner being Matthew Singley, requesting a dimensional variance pursuant to sections 2320, 2254, and 5222 of the Carver zoning bylaw for property located at 65 Crystal Lake Drive in Carver, Assessors Map 62, Lot 35-0R, so as to construct a 75-square-foot addition on a pre-existing non-conforming lot in a residential agricultural district. A variance is being requested due to the need for side setback relief. So, I would ask either of you, or both, to give us a little bit of a presentation. I should tell you, still getting organized here from that last case. I should tell you that unlike a lot of other boards in this town and in others, we actually read everything, and we read it in advance of the hearing. So we have a pretty good understanding of what you'd like to do already, but I'm going to give you an opportunity, either one of you or both, as I said, to speak to us about the project generally and the high and the low points, and we'll listen intently and then ask you a few questions.
Okay. Assuming you have the plot plan that we submitted, that should be there for you, but we're proposing a fairly small addition of basically a 5-foot extension to the side of our house, which would be the south side of the house. Basically to improve the livability of the home. The rooms are quite small at the moment, and this will really help us in just the ease of living in the home, and we hope to grow our family someday, and this small addition would definitely help us out. There's a existing concrete pad right where we plan to do the addition, so.
Did you get a permit for that?
For the concrete pad?
Yeah.
That was there when we bought the house.
Okay, go ahead.
We bought the house in February, so
Okay.
we haven't done any work. But, we thought a lot about this, and we hope that will minimize the impact to, any groundbreaking, or, we don't foresee any environmental impacts or, neighborhood aesthetic type of issues or access and usability of the neighborhood.
What's the square footage of your house currently, Matthew?
It's 832, I believe.
And you want to go another 75 square feet?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Anything to add?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean.
You good?
Pretty straightforward. We're happy to answer questions you have in more detail, but it's
So you need to,
basically a 5-foot extension to the exterior wall. The minimum lot size is non-conforming, the minimum road frontage is non-conforming, the current setbacks are non-conforming, so the neighborhood doesn't really lend itself to much alterations. So basically, anywhere we would decide to increase the footprint a little bit, it would cause a problem for the zoning, so it's...
You're going to need relief regardless of where you're going to put this addition, is what you're
Exactly,
saying.
so it's
right?
not like, oh, we could move it to the other side and have no issue, or the front or the back or anything. It's wherever we decide to do it, it would raise a flag with the zoning, so we think this spot would be good based on the just unused concrete pad that I guess is intended to be a parking space. So instead of having a vehicle there, we would propose just a little 5-foot bump out instead.
And that's, as you face the house, that would be on the left-hand side, correct?
No, it'd be on the right hand.
As I'm looking at your picture here, is it this little
The right,
concrete pad
yes.
here that you see?
Exactly.
Do you have this, Mark? Should have been in your
Well, I was
package.
looking at-
Sharon,
Huh?
with the pad. Oh, that's not a driveway?
Well, it's where you park your car, I suppose, but
Okay. Yep.
it's right here.
So looking at the house here,
on the
it's on the
right-hand
right-hand side.
Right, so put
Okay.
the street and the street together, and then
Yep.
it's over on the
Yep.
right-hand side.
when did you say you purchased the property?
We closed in February this year.
Okay. Now, I have to give you a little legal seminar, because I'm the guy that does that, and everybody else gets to say whatever they want, but Under state law, in order for us to grant you a variance, you have to show one or more of three things to our satisfaction. One, you have to show that there's something unusual about the shape of the lot, not the size, but the shape, or something unusual about the soil, or something unusual about the topography. If you can make that argument successfully, then you're able to overcome, in many instances, the bylaw that requires that structures be placed on properties in an appropriate, as we define it, appropriate dimensional way. So is there anything unusual about this property in terms of its shape? Again, not size, but shape, topography, or soil, that would allow us to break the local law, which is what a variance is, where you're asking us to break a local law, and afford you the relief that you'd like to have. So it's not one of these situations where we say, well, it sounds like a good idea, so we'll let it happen. We have to comply with what state law requirements. When state law requirements are put on us, we have to comply with those.
I'd say the shape is narrow and long so that the placement of the house does not allow for any basically setback on any side of it to be in conformance with
So the
law.
shape of the lot, in view of the fact that it is narrow in width,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
And as you look at the house, as Mr. Poirier just said, the pad is on the right.
That's correct.
Do you have, as I'm looking at your picture, you have a retaining wall on,
Backside.
that's on the back side? So is this picture from the back of the lot?
That's from the street side.
From the street? But I see a little, like a small retaining wall here in the front.
Oh, that's not there. That's an old,
Oh, so that's not there anymore?
that's correct.
But you have a retaining wall in the back?
On the back, yeah.
Okay, so that would almost be a soil argument, too.
It says on your assessor's map that you share a driveway with the neighbor.
Well,
Is that where you want to put your bump out? Is
that's
it-
not really true. I mean,
Okay.
the property line butts up against the neighbor's driveway. So the property line splits basically a double wide driveway, so.
Okay, so
we have
they've
one
got-
side, they have the other side.
Oh.
Okay,
and it's
But your
kind of-
property line bisects it, okay.
okay.
That's different from a shared driveway,
Right.
but,
It's not really.
Does everybody agree that this is a pre-existing non-conforming?
Yes.
it is, because it's on a 1954 subdivision plan of Crystal Lake,
1954?
1954.
And to go back to your comment on the shape, I mean, if it was a wider, same square footage, but wider property, we would be able to do the proposed bump out without any issue.
So what you're saying to us is there really is no place on this narrow lot to do any additional construction that would be compliant with current zoning?
That's true. Mhm.
I don't see where they could put it in the back where it would, no, it still wouldn't be conforming for 30 feet because of the retaining wall.
And it looks like there's septics in the back,
The septic is in the front.
or in the...
It's in the front,
In the
right.
front, okay.
But-
Right. They have more frontage than they do.
It's almost kind of a soil thing too, because they have a concrete pad that they are building onto, which you're not eliminating the pad, right?
No.
You're not taking up the concrete or
No, no.
anything, right?
That's a stretch.
You just, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But it would also work on the other way. They couldn't build on that side if they wanted to put it on the other side.
Who are Joseph and Helen Pratt? Are those the folks from whom you bought it?
Previous owners.
And we've decided that your driveway is not shared with a neighbor?
Correct.
Is that true?
Same thing on the left side of the house, a driveway and the neighbor's driveway, just basically touching each other. Property line runs down the middle.
Okay. Fair enough. One thing that we try to do, and this is the exercise that the vice chair has just gone through with you, is that we look to see, based on the plans, whether there is another location on your lot which would not require the dimensional relief and the breaking of the local bylaw that you're now asking us for. And I think based on her expert analysis, and believe me, she is expert, she's done this for a long time, and she knows a lot, you're not finding any.
No.
Ms. Mello, do you have anything?
No.
Mr. Poirier?
I do not. Well, I guess, so are they just asking for a certain amount of relief, footage, in terms of the side setback?
That's a good question. How much relief do you need? What's the dimensional relief that you need?
We're looking to come out 5 feet, so I don't have the current setback number in front of me, but if we just...
We have to have a number.
Subtraction, we could give you...
We have to have a number.
Well, Mr. Boucher,
Can you tell us the
well, Mr. Boucher says 25 feet, because
25 feet?
25 feet of relief,
Because it's going to be 5 feet and he needs 30.
and he needs 30.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so
He-
5 feet.
And he has, right now...
And this
you're-
is on, excuse me, and this is on the south side.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he's 12 and a half feet to his lot line now from his house, so then he's going to cut in 5 feet of that. So
7.5 feet buffer.
7.5
Require 30
minus...
feet, then we need
so give
22 and a half.
Yeah, go 25.
Yeah, I think that's why he did 20.
Yeah, that's probably why he did 25.
Okay, so I guess we're satisfied that your number probably should be about 25 feet of relief.
I think maybe 22 and a half, but we can...
We always like to give a little extra just in case.
You don't want to build and then find out you don't have enough relief.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Mr. Poirier, what else do you have?
That was it.
When's the wedding?
Next year.
Next year?
When COVID's over.
Okay. And when are you looking to begin construction?
As soon as we can secure all approvals and permits, and
You have a builder picked out?
we do have a contractor that has come taken a look at it, so we would hire him if we can reach that point.
Okay.
And depending on his schedule.
Does anybody feel as if they need to do a site visit?
I do not.
Ms. Mello?
Nope.
Mr. Poirier?
We're good.
Mr. Gray? No. Do you want to say anything further?
I think we're good.
Does anybody up here want to say anything further? Do I hear a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Do I hear a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're now closed, which means we will not take any more evidence, and we move to our findings. I propose that the board make the following finding: that the proposed construction is not substantially more detrimental than any existing non-conforming structure in the neighborhood.
So moved.
So moved. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a second finding as follows: that owing to circumstances relating to soil conditions, shape, and/or topography of the structures or lot, but not affecting the district generally, a literal enforcement of the provisions of the bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the petitioner. Relief may be granted without nullifying or substantially derogating from the purpose of the bylaw. Do I hear anybody that's comfortable making a motion to accept that finding?
So moved.
I hear a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we move to our decision part of the hearing. I ask for a motion that a variance under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 10, for 25 feet of side setback relief on the south side of the property be granted from the Carver zoning bylaw owing to the shape of the lot.
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Any further discussion before we go to a vote? Again, under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 10, 25 feet of side setback relief on the south side of the property is granted from the Carver zoning bylaw owing to the shape of the lot.
Can I just make sure we're doing the math right? Okay. I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
You got it?
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
your time.
So, Ms. Clark has a little speech she wants to give.
Here's what will happen next, is the chairman will write up the decision and file it with the town clerk, probably in the next week or so. At that point, a 20-day appeal period will begin, once it's filed with the town clerk. Everybody on your abutters list, all those certified letters, will get a regular mail letter that is a notice of the decision. When the decision has cleared the 20-day appeal period, then the town clerk, or maybe you should check back in about 2.5 weeks, and you'll be given the original copy. The original copy has to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, which is down on Overy Street. You bring back the recorded copy, they'll give it back to you, and you can get your building permit then. Okay, so it has to be on record in order for you to get your building permit. All right, and good luck.
You're living in there now, are you?
Yes, we are.
Must be tight, huh?
Yeah, it's a little tight.
One bathroom?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they're young.
That's
so-
right.
We're making do.
How long have you been in Carver?
We're new to the town.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Where'd you live before?
I was in Plymouth and Weymouth and then Carver.
Well, welcome to Carver.
Thank you.
And I hope both of you and your eventual family will be very happy here.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Good
much.
Bye now.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Good evening.
I quickly want to go over the upcoming dates because there's been a lot of moving around and requests for continuances and so forth.
Before you do that, I'm just looking at that August meeting date. And I just realized I have to go to Chelmsford, take my father. He's got a doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just worried about getting back in time for the meeting.
Well, your failure to appear will not be excused.
I understand that, but I'm just wondering if I would be cutting it a little bit too close there.
Well, you got plenty of time to see if it could be moved up a little bit, or when you walk in for the appointment, you can ask that you be given some priority because you have town business to which you must attend.
Right. But I still have to drive back from Chelmsford once it's over, so, in the middle of rush hour traffic. That's
Can't you
my
take the
point.
Poirier helicopter?
Yeah.
Come back.
So,
What are you telling me? Because now we're going to have to go back and change
nah,
the
we'll
date.
keep it.
Okay.
If I'm late, I'm late.
Okay.
Just keep me
All right.
advised.
I will.
So going over the dates upcoming,
Yep.
we have a date a week from tonight, one case only on the agenda.
Didn't even
That's
have it in
the
my calendar.
SLT case.
Yep.
And then we have two cases on for July. That's the 12th, both new cases.
3.
3.
We just added one tonight.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Well, it's,
Yeah,
right.
Well, so we have two new ones and one continued one.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we have another new one on for August 23rd. Am I remembering correctly?
Yep.
Yep.
I don't expect that there'll be any other dates that we'll have to run by everybody. That should be sufficient to cover everything that's pending currently in front of this board. I do want to say for the record that a lot of these continued cases have been kicked down the can, kicked down the road, not because of our schedule, but because the petitioners, for whatever reason, had issues that needed to be addressed before this board could act. So these continuances are being requested by the petitioners and not by the board itself, which stands ready to make decisions once all the paperwork has been filed properly. Okay, does anybody have anything else that they want to go over?
I do not.
And Ms. Mello?
I'm done. I'm good.
You're
Thank
good.
you.
Mr. Poirier?
I'm all set.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Carver.